There's me, 25F, sister, 27F, and brother, 28 meters, involved here. We were raised together, and until 2019 we believed we were a nuclear biological family. Then we found out our dad wasn't our bio dad, which even he didn't know. It then turned out my older siblings shared a bio dad, but I had a different one. We were also first cousins, because their bio and my bio were brothers. Dad left our mom, hurt, betrayed, and overall disgusted that she had lied to him for 2 decades. I was equally mad that she lied and hurt my dad. My siblings were less willing to cut her off, but their relationship strained majorly. Dad moved in with me and my then boyfriend, now fiance, and covered it. At this point all 3 of us agreed he was dad no matter what. And there was nothing that could change that. I meant it. They didn't. They found their bio father and mine by extension, and have decided that he is now real dad, and that our dad is just a stepdad. My brother has even corrected his 2 little girls who called dad grandpa into saying he's step grandpa and that's what they call him, while bio gets called grandpa. It broke my dad's heart, and he decided it was too much for him to accept. This is after talks between them where he was essentially told to know his place, stay in his lane and demoted with a clear message, being nothing would change. I'm so pissed at them. They have tried to push me to meet my real dad, and have told me it's okay to go back on what we said. Initially, they were invited to my wedding, but with this whole mess I told them they were no longer welcome, and I did not want them to show up. They told me that just because they have a relationship with their real dad doesn't change things between us. I told them it does. That if dad isn't our real dad, after everything he has done for us then we are not real siblings, because technically we are half siblings and cousins. That my dad is still my dad 100% and biology is meaningless to me. And so it was best for them not to come, because I no longer want them there. What I said hurt them. My sil, married to my brother, told me I was an asshole for throwing half in their faces and cutting them from my wedding, like we haven't been siblings our whole lives. I think that's almost more annoying to me, because that's our dad. But he can be shit on and discarded like he's nothing. Eta? My sil, married to my brother, told me I was an asshole for throwing half in their faces and cutting them from my wedding, like we haven't been siblings our whole lives. But didn't your dad raise them their whole lives? And they've just dismissed everything he's done because your mum lied. Essentially it's your wedding, you can invite and disinvite who you want. NTA. That line made me so mad. That's exactly what her siblings did to their dad. Sil and siblings can't sit their asses back down with their hypocrisy. You used their exact reason against them and it hurt them, and still it didn't click with them. Outrageous that 20+ years of sacrifices and love can be thrown away, and the love given to a guy who didn't do anything except F*** a married woman. NTA. It's the perfect opportunity to tell them that is how they are acting towards the man that raised them for 20 years. NTA. Your dad is lucky to have a daughter like you. Congrats on the wedding. EWW. I cannot imagine exiling and belittling the man who lovingly raised me for decades for a man that would repeatedly F*** his own brother's wife and then refuse to acknowledge his biological children for their entire childhood. Funny how the monster that intentionally created this situation is still called mom. NTA. I hope you and your dad have a blast at the wedding. Edit. I misread opus. The affair partners, aka sperm donors, were brothers. You and your dad deserve so much better than this pile of assholes. NTA. That step grandpa business is real low. Shame on them. And telling him to know his place and stay in his lane was just hateful. NTA. You picked team dad, they picked team sperm donor. It's as simple as that. Op should definitely start referring the bias as sperm donors. Watch the fireworks. Well, the only person who's calling you an R is your half-sil/cousin, and she's hardly objective. NTA. And their hypocrisy is outrageous. You're still their sister, because you were raised together. But the man who raised you for 2 decades under the impression that he's your father ISN''T*** their father? Do they not even see how inconsistent and unfair they are being? I'm guessing their magnanimous attitude toward their mother is due to the fact that they favor her over your dad. Or the BO dad has more money. NTA. It's your wedding, and you can do what you please. If you don't want them there, that's reasonable. The man that is there for you and raised should not be demoted for something out of his control. It's fair that they want to contact their biological father, and it's fair if they still want a relationship with their mother, but to treat the man who raised them with such disrespect is nasty. And if your mother and father get divorced, does that mean he's no longer even be step-grandpa? Unthinkable. If your half-brother and sister take offense to the fact you called them as such, then they should understand why your daddy's so hurt by being called stepdad. They're already divorced. NTA. Funny how the siblings are hurt that you don't see them as real siblings anymore when that's exactly what they've done to the father that raised them. Plus, he's not the one bailing on them. How many times have we read about dads who checked out after finding out something similar? No, he's dad and stays dad, but they blow that off. The sib/cousins are the arse here for not appreciating him and being as loyal as op just for some DNA. Obviously, she takes after him, and her sib/cousins take after their mom. NTA. My real dad is the man who raised me from 3 years old, the man who was there for every bump and bruise, every sad and happy occasion in my life. I haven't seen my biological father since I was 5. Not a word. He knows where I am. He even sent me a friend request Facebook which I hesitantly accepted, and he's never once spoken to me or reached out to me. My son calls my dad his grandfather, and rightfully so. My mom divorced my dad when I was 27, and her new husband is my stepdad, and he's also grandpa to the grandkids. There is no such thing as step-grandpa. Your siblings are rotten. They must get that from your mother. I've heard of the whole step-grandparent thing before, but normally not the person who raised your parent their whole life and was there through everything who gets cast aside once the bias enter the picture. Their choice and all, but they are huge assholes. And my dad was super helpful to my brother and Sil when the kids were born. Pretty sure he helped them buy everything for their oldest. Wait, so why is the father being punished when the mother cheated and lied about it for 20 years? Your siblings gave the title of dad to someone who wasn't in their life that entire time. Yes to it all, but also, my brother told his kids to no longer call dad grandpa, and he was demoted to step-grandpa. NTA. Your half-siblings/cousins are cruel beyond the pale. Stick to your guns. And congrats on the wedding. NTA. Your poor dad. NTA. I'm glad your dad has you. He truly doesn't deserve this kind of treatment. I personally find it quite disturbing. It makes me so mad. He has been the best dad to all 3 of us, and they just discard him because he's not BO. Not like he lied to us about it. He never knew either. NTA. You stuck by your father, the man who raised you, and has been your dad your entire life. It's honestly shocking what your siblings did. I can't imagine the heartbreak your father feels. Good on you for being so loyal. Your siblings, sorry half-siblings, suck. At this point they'd just be cousins. I don't talk too much to me. Okay, what the actual fuck? Op definitely not NTA. On a Shillary scale of 1 to 10, Op's siblings are 8 and their mom is a 100. I don't know what else to say. This is disgusting on so many levels. Stay strong Op for yourself and your dad. Hope you have a great wedding, and even greater future. PS. What was your BO dad and their BO dad's reaction to all this? Do they even know they have kids with the same woman? Also, how did all this come out in the first place? I don't know how the bias reacted. I don't care either. They mean nothing to me. It came out because dad wanted to look for a relative. We decided to go the route with DNA, and from what we found out we weren't father and daughter. From there it spiraled, and it broke a lot of things. NTA. While nothing wrong with meeting their BO dad, IMO the way they are now treating their real dad who raised them is atrocious and cruel. Interesting, your half-siblings/cousins thought nothing wrong with making your dad who helped support and raise them for almost 30 years back less than, but are butthurt when the same rationale is applied to them. Good for you in recognizing your real dad's worth, and that it takes more than blood to make a family. Enjoy your wedding with the people you want to be there. NTA I do hope you asked your sister-in-law. Asterisk if my dad shouldn't be hurt by being called stepdad, why should your husband be hurt by me calling him half-sibling? Asterisk. Wait. Not only did your mom cheat on your dad, and not only did she cheat with two different people, but the two men she cheated with were brothers. NTA. They were able to dish it, but not take it. Yes. NTA your wedding, your choice. They want others to treat them like family, but they get to treat people like they're worthless. Sorry, no double standards allowed. NTA. Your siblings is huge ours. When they treat the man who have been their father their whole life like a stranger, they don't deserve to be invited to your wedding, and they should just stay away from your family. Not only that, they are maintaining a relationship with mom, who is the sole cause of this family meltdown. If anyone should be shunned here, it's her. NTA. Your siblings treat your dad as though he did something wrong. He is not stepdad or stepgranddad. He is dad and grandpa. Stepdad would mean that the children existed before he married your mom. All of her children came from affairs, not at all the same thing. Your mother should be ashamed of herself. I'd go NC with my mother and her two older children. Next thing you know, your brother and sister will show up at your wedding with the BO dads. They probably see no reason why your BO dad should not be the one to walk you down the aisle. I already did cut her off. She's never going to be in my life again. NTA they showed you who they really are. Trash, and they took themselves out. Info. I see you mentioned that you're NC with your mom, which I think is great. Toxic family members don't deserve you. Do they still speak with their mother? If so, I think she may be to blame in feeding this bullshittery. Do your wedding like you want, and have those who matter to you. Screw the idiots. You don't need them. They speak to her still. Not as much as before this all came out, but yes, they maintained contact with her. NTA. Your siblings can pound sand if they feel that they shouldn't be disinvited for their actions. Info. Did you ever know the reason why your mother cheated on your dad? Nope. Don't care to know either. Don't even know that I would say we know how many guys she was with. There could be more. You did to them what they did to your dad. Nice. NTA. Your parent is not one by blood, but by being there and raising you. How anyone can be that dense is beyond me. NTA I feel so sorry for your dad. Imagine finding out after all that time that your children aren't biologically yours. And as if that isn't bad enough, have those children that you raised and loved completely toss you aside. I agree with you. It takes more than biology to be someone's dad. And if the lack of a blood relationship means he is no longer their father, that by extension means you are no longer their real sibling. I would completely cut them off. C's. Your story is insane. NTA. Insane. NTA. In no way, shape, or form could you ever be tar. You are obviously a very smart, loving and dedicated young lady, and absolutely are 100% in the right. Kudos to you for defending your dad, and even bigger kudos for putting your horrible relatives in place. Enjoy your wedding. I hope you have eternal bliss. NTA. Your dad didn't even know he wasn't BO dad. Sounds like he was happy to keep being dad on all levels, and the other siblings have cut off the person that raised them. Absolutely not okay. Keep freezing them out until they've had time to reflect on their poor behavior. NTA. My sil, married to my brother, told me I was an asshole for throwing half in their faces and cutting them from my wedding, like we haven't been siblings our whole lives. Oh, like how they're ass for throwing step in their dad's face and demoting him in their lives, like he wasn't the one raising them their whole lives? No. They don't get to have it both ways. They pick the way they want it to work, so they have to accept the consequences. NTA good for you for recognizing that family isn't all about blood. Your one half siblings have no problem calling your dad stepdad or anything, but can't handle being called half siblings. The dissonance is confusing there. I'm not sure I'm understanding. So your mom had affairs with two guys that were brothers, and they man you all thought was your BO dad is not anyone's BO dad, and not related to either of the affair guys? You have got that right. Dad isn't biologically related to us or the bias, and their BO and my BO are brothers. You're an asshole for uninviting them from the wedding, like they haven't been your siblings your whole life. You mean like their stepfather has been their father their whole lives, raising them, putting a roof over their heads, food in their mouths, and being there for them like a good father does? It seems they've forgotten who was their father, biological or not. It takes more to be a father than dumping your seed. I'm so sorry. This is such a gross and unfortunate situation your father didn't deserve. Please don't ever abandon your dad like they did. I can't imagine how hurt he feels because of this. NTA. Never. My dad is the only part of my family I can proudly claim. I'm never letting him go. NTA. What's ironic is they're upset about their treatment from you when that is what they dished out to your dad.